Good day, everyone. Thanks. Let me show my screen. Good day, everyone. Thanks for joining today meetup. And we are proceeding with the next series on AWS Bedrock. And we have already covered few series. And today's on our meetup, we are going to discuss about AWS Bedrock LLM evaluation. Okay. Thanks for joining my session, Learn by Hands-on Labs with AJ. And today agenda, we are going to be touch upon why do we need LLM evaluation and challenges in LLM evaluation, and what are the approaches where we can tackle the LLM, and what kind of metrics we have to monitor the LLM. And we also touch base on the evaluation, LLM evaluation using Amazon Bedrock via demo. Okay, anyone who not seen my session before, please feel free to go on and check this session on a YouTube. And we started with the basic learn by hands-on labs with AJ. And we started with what is the AWS Bedrock. Then we touched upon how to use a no-code tool like AWS SageMaker Canvas for testing the machine learning model, as well as how to use as a playground for the generative AI. And also we touched upon the rack architecture as well as AWS Bedrock knowledge base. And the last session we have covered on AWS Bedrock agents. Agents is one of the important topic which is going to be massive adaptation on this year and going forward. Thank you. And let's start with why we need a large language model evaluation. Since everybody now get a chance to work on the large language model, you build a small application or use a API, open API, or you would have used AWS Bedrock and build application. But when you come to the production, right, the lot of challenges come into the picture, particularly if you are giving hands to your end user who is an external customer, which is going to be a lot of challenges. First is about the quality assurance, and you need to manage the performance, need to be a performance and reliability need to be intact. Okay, so the reliability in the sense the data it generate or it summarize or it is answering to any QA question from using a large language model. It need to be performance, which need to be given a token in a fast manner, and it reliable. Make sure that the token is unbiased and non-toxic and true to the ground truth. Then model improvement. So we need to evaluate the model and understand where it is not hallucinating, or it need a refinement, or whether we can use a different model for this particular use case. Okay, so we need for that particular purpose, we need to do the evaluation. Of course, there is an important thing is ethical consideration. Make sure that this model is not giving any biases or misinformation or harmful content. And again, application suitability. Some application, let's say you want to have a novel, big context window, you need a model which will provide a big context, or if you need a model which will create a large number of text token as output, you need that particular model. You are okay with the latency. But if you are very much sure that my latency is a very important critical thing, I want the quick answer from them, so then you need to select the model which will suffice your need. Okay, so that is another reason you need to evaluate. Of course, user confidence. Okay, you need to make sure that the model output response is make sure it is adhering to the user confidence. Then all good. We understand what are all the importance of the LLM evaluation, but what are the challenges we have? Unlike a typical evaluation, like how we do the classic machine learning model, like if we cannot have RUC curve, or you cannot have a F1 or precision or recall metrics. Okay, here also we use it, but it's a text is little bit challenging. Okay, and it is again a compute intensive. Let's take an example of summarization. You have a one paragraph, say you have a 10 pages and you want to summarize into the less than two paragraph. Okay, if you are asking the large language model to summarize it, you want to make sure that the summarization will ground it with your real data and without losing your context and everything, right? So as a human, we can evaluate 10 pages and we can confirm, yes, it is good. But imagine it is on the 10x, 100x, or it is going to be a 1000x. It's going to be a challenge, right? So the scalability of the large language model evaluation is it's a big challenge. Then again, the subjective and variability, the same thing I have mentioned before, right? So it need to match or it need to perform the results above than the human annotation or human evaluation. And if you are, again, whatever you are evaluating, it need to be interpretable. Okay, so it need to give you the information on why that accuracy or whether it is a relevancy. So how much score we have. Okay, it need to be interpretable. So these are the challenges when come to the LLM evaluation. First we spoke about why we need LLM evaluation, large language model evaluation. Here we check about what are the challenges: scalability, interpretability, and subjective variability. Now let's kind of understand the high level of how you can evaluate. The model evaluation, first technique, you can use a panel. So panel in the sense, let's say you build one, you created your large language model using Amazon Titan Express, and it is giving you a response. To validate it, if you go for some big model for the token generation for per token is expensive than the Amazon Titan Express, and that model, like take an example of OpenAI. Okay, if that model is not solving your purpose, then it became a challenge. So what am I trying to say is, rather than relying on one model to evaluate, what we can do is we can have a panel of models which can be evaluate the response of that particular model, a particular model. Let's say you build an application using Amazon Titan Express. You can using a Bedrock SDK, you can use the Claude IQ or AI Jurassic, which are small models to evaluate. That is a one technique. So we call it as using a panel. So, and that's why the LLM evaluator, it's a panel of LLM evaluator pool. Okay. The next one is reduce internal model bias. Okay. So while you are using a single model, you don't want to rely on that particular model judgment. Rather than that, you can have a multiple model, which will give you the different flavor of perspective or the what do you say, it gives you a different level of perspective. Then cost effective, yes, that's the first thing I told you, right? Let's take, if you are taking a small model, build an application using a small model which serves your purpose, but for the evaluation you no need to go for a single larger model. Rather than that, you can rely on a 4 or 5 small models which will give you a better response. Let's go to the next one. Here in this topic, we are going to be only focusing on the text summarization use case. Okay, so the summarization can be anything. So let's take an example of news summarization. If you have big news and you just want to consume in a short format, so you can have a news summarization or document summarization or social media summarization if you are running any kind of campaign. If you're getting a comments on it, if you have maybe million comments, you take those comments and understand the sentiments. So you can summarize a social media content and email summarization. Yeah, if you want to have a big email, you just want to condense and summarize on your response, you can try it out. Legal summarization. There are a couple of companies built for this kind of use cases. Legal summarization. Here, the evaluation is very important. Make sure that it is grounded with your data and it is not hallucinating. Educational summarization, like lecturers receive, you have a big white paper, you want to summarize and read it quick. So those kind of things. These are the LLM summarization use case. So why I am focusing on a summarization is today demo is we are mostly focusing on a summarization. Okay. Okay, all good. Now we have gone through why we need LLM evaluation and what are the challenges in evaluation and what kind of small technique you can use for LLM evaluation, and all good. How are we going to measure? Okay, so there are different metrics you can use it. The first metric is ROE, recall oriented understanding of gisting evaluation, and that is widely used. And the next one is metric for evaluation for translation, that is mostly used for the translation. Then comes the BET score. Each has a different use cases. Okay, and you can briefly understand this by reading this blog. I learned a lot on reading this blog. At this one, I consider this as a summarization. So let's focus on evaluation focus. If you are evaluating the focus where how this metric was evaluated is, the rogue is more on the lexical overlap between summaries. Lexical overlap means if you are taking example, I love my country. So we can say I love country. So the my word is not coming. So it will uh, take an n-gram or say one I love my country. So it will take a gram and it's because it's a lexical overlap and understand it. What is the disadvantage of it? It will not understand the context. We are missing the context. It will mostly rely on the lexicon. Okay. So the next one is Meteor. This is more for the translation. Here you can, it works well, but only challenges again here is if it is a long paraphrase, it will not uh, understand the context. Okay, so particularly it will keep that particular word and uh, words in the ordered manner. Okay, it will not understand the context. It will, if you are say I love my country, you cannot say that I enjoy my country, I like my country. Okay, the country is dear to my heart. So if you're giving this kind of information, right, the translation, explicit translation will not work well with this metrics. Then comes the bet score. It works well with the semantic. Okay, so it understands the semantic understanding and it uses the contextual embedding. So it, and yeah, it is a computational intense, but it will give you the complete semantic understanding, full context understanding while you are doing the summarization. Here we are only talking about a summarization. If you have a big paragraph, if you are using evaluation, then bit score works well. If you have a small one and the rogue will work well, but it will work well for the abstractive summarization task. Okay, where you no need to worry about the context and the content is very less, and it will just abstract it from the original content and give you this. The mature works in between of it. Okay, so why these metrics are very important? So these are the metrics, you can try it out. It is available in a Bedrock SDK, but you can use it on a different use cases based on what is your use cases. Let's say if you're having a chatbot and most of the chat content won't be as long, and it's just you can use a rich metrics. Okay, but if you're having a big conversation RAG technique or something, the bit score will work well in that particular context. So based on your use cases, you can select the right metrics to be used. Okay, so what are the options you have from the Bedrock model evaluation? You have option where you can use the automatic evaluation, where if you are building a pipeline, you can use the automatic evaluation, which will give you the results. Okay, and then comes a human. Okay, you can bring your own team and we can annotate with our human resource and do it. Okay, then you can have your own evaluation, but augmented with the AWS managed work team. Okay, they will do on behalf of you. Okay, so I'm going to go high level, go through this automatic evaluation. It is only 5 level steps. Okay, it's very, very simple. So here, first step is create a asset where you give you the name of the evaluation description, then select the model. You have around 5 models available: Amazon, Anthropic, Jurassic, 5 models. We can go through this on the console and we can do it. Then select the task. So you, based on the task, the metrics and will be deferred. So the first task is text generation, where we will call ask some question and create a text. The next one is a text summation. The reason why I'm giving text summarization is we always have our ground truth data. We are giving this context and ask them to summarize it. Okay, so there we can evaluate with the ground truth and the prediction information. Okay, then question and answers and text classification. Now I'm focusing on the only summarization. Then I selected the task type, then the metrics. So here we have metrics of accuracy, toxicity, and robustness. These are the 3 metrics we have. Here we have an option. Automatically, if you give a default, it will use the default data set. But if you are summarizing and you have your own data sets, you can bring your own data sets and keep it in history and evaluate against your own data set also. This is from the console, and let us do some demo using FM evaluation. Okay, so let me first just show from the console, then I go through the UI. Okay, this is the console. I am here at AWS Bedrock. I'm just going to try out something. Enter the name of our evaluation. I say data ops may. So I select the model. So I can select the Anthropic, or I can select the Cohere, or I can select the Meta. So I'll go with the Amazon, which is the low and slow model. Then I'm selecting the text summarization model. Okay. So if you want to have multiple model, you cannot do it from the UI for now, but you can do it via SDK, and you can use some architecture like uh, step function, and you can have a single lambda, 4 lambda function. Only thing you need to change is the invocation models, and you can have create some orchestration for that. Okay, that is doable, but I'm just simplifying it for that high level. Okay, so here if I selected this, it will give you the text summarization. So currently the available built-in data sets are gigabyte. Okay, if I have your own data set, click on own data sets for the toxicity if you want to have particular one. So for each one, it will give you that these are 3 options you have. Metric you are selecting. Based on this, your metrics will be selected: accuracy, toxicity, and robustness. And the results will be go to the history bucket. Okay, and yeah, this is once you do it, it will automatically create the evaluation job. Okay, that's all from the console. Let me go for a UI. So UI, I'll walk through this one. AWS have a library called FM Eval. So if you want, I can go show you the GitHub itself. Okay. So FM Eval GitHub. So very important thing, you try it with the right version, Python version. So if you're running with a 3.12, it will not work. I'm getting some error while I'm running with a 3.12. But if you're using a lower version, let's say I'm show you what version I'm using, so it will be helpful. I don't want you guys to go through the same problem. It is Python 3.11.5. Okay, this is the uh, this is a repository. It is managed under the AWS, and it is Apache license. Okay, so why we need to use SDK is, let's say if you're building any orchestration, and the whole I'm talking about um, the multiple models will evaluate the response of the single model, right? So if you want to do that, you can use this model, and it is easily doable. Okay, so if anybody interested, let me know. I already tried with architecting those design and testing out. In interest of time, I'm keeping it simple. Here I'm installing the library. Then here I'm installing the Bootstrap and the Bedrock. The next step is Here I'm having the giga sample, giga sample JSON file. So the always it will be on a JSON lined file. Okay, this is a file. Okay, you see, this is a file. The document will be on a particular data set. You have a data, you have a context, and it will have a summary. Okay, if you guys want to know more, I would say try look at this gigabyte data set from the Hugging Face. So you will have like this document and summarize. You have this information. So now let me go to the Python file. So you are loading that data as a evaluation data set. Now here in this instruction, we are using Anthropic Claude V2 model, and we are giving the data who is Barack Obama, and we are giving you the prompt. We are just keeping the body as a JSON and invoking this model. Once you invoke the model, it gives you the information about the Barack Obama, about who is he, all those information. Then here comes the evaluation step. Here, this is very important. I just walk you through this one. The data config is where you will orchestrate your data information like gigabytes, or if it is an history, you will give it. Then Bedrock model runner is where it will launch the job and do the evaluation. Okay. And here it's what kind of job, what kind of task we are doing. We are using a summarization. Okay. So this is a library we need to import. So here the data config I told, right? This is giga example. Example, if you imagine you're using some kind of S3, you need to give the S3 path and all the information. This is the data set name. And here you have to download it, or you just give the S3 path in the config. This is about the data config. Then model runner. Here we are calling the model ID. If imagine if you have a pool of multiple lambda function, all you can do is you can keep it in a for loop and have the model information as a JSON file and repeated this one and store the result. Okay, that is one option. I would say sure that if you are using a SageMaker pipeline, or you can use a step function and orchestrate multiple lambda function, each one for each model, and store the response into the some NoSQL database like Elasticsearch or DynamoDB for creating a charts on how the response will works. Okay, it is a JSON. Okay. Now I started doing the evaluation. Here, if what look at it, I'm just running the summarization accuracy. So I'm evaluating the model. In this model, I'm giving the model runner, which is nothing but my model ID and other information, and it's a config. If there is a one more option in this library called I evaluate run something which will do only one data set. If you run the evaluate, it will run everything. If you're having a evaluate run it, let me like this also I'll show you because I was practicing with this. It is very helpful. Okay, if I go evaluate, yeah, this is a library. It's a document. No, it's I need to put the documentation. Okay, one minute. I'll go to the FM eval. Okay, eval. Okay, model runner. It is loading. Model runner. Okay, so you just look at this documentation. So what I'm trying to say is we can do only one model. Currently, it is running against all the data set. If you want only one data sets, you can try it without. Okay. So this is a prompt template. So here is summarize the following text into the one sentence, and we are giving the JSON file, and it taken some time, and all the results will be stored here. And we are look at it. It's a summarization accuracy. We are taking it, and it is giving you the value. Meteor, for the meteor, it is a score, and for the rogue, this is a score, and bird, this is a score. Okay, so give you this so information, and look at this. It taken the model input. This is the input it has taken, and this is a prompt, which is what we have given, and this is the response it has. Okay, so since it's in data frame format, you cannot able to say. So I'll load it into the CSV file. I'll show you the CSV file. Okay, look at the CSV file. So if you look at it, this is a model input. Okay, Canada advised its national witness to while the non-shut down to Nepal. So they given this information. And here is a prompt summarize the following text in one sentence. We are giving this as a prompt, and this is the prompt input, and it is giving you the response as a one, and it is giving a score, but score. Okay, so based on this evaluation score, we can identify whether it is doing good or not. Okay, let us take an example here. Let us descend it and see is some. I not tested it. I'm just doing the lifetime for the first time filter. Okay, so short. Okay. So here, let's see, it is giving the accuracy of one evaluation score. Let's say by so 5-time world champion Michael Kwan withdrew from the US Vegas Strand Exam on Wednesday, but will petition a US for the chance to compete against the Turin Olympics. So withdraw from the 2006 and but will be available still competent. See, look at it. It is this is model output, and it is expecting the target output. This is the target output. It is evaluating against this target output, but it is saying that still it is compete against the 2006 Turin Olympics. That's why the evaluation score is 0.1. So here this is a target output, and it is evaluating against it and giving an evaluation score. So why this approach FM library will be helpful is, if imagine if you are building a big pipeline of summarization task as part of the any of your project, you can embed this by libraries as part of the orchestration, and you can do the end-to-end evaluation. Thanks for joining this, guys. Okay, so this demo was, hope this demo is helpful. And again, you can go to this examples under the particular GitHub, and you can select the particular topic. I have selected the cloud summarization accuracy. You can even try the factual knowledge, which again work against your knowledge base. Okay. Um, and again, we are using a Bedrock model. You can choose any of the model. Here I'm using Anthropic. You can choose any small models based on your use cases. Okay. And again, as I said, you can change the data sets according to your need. Okay, let me come to the last part. Okay, guys, just a quick recap. We have touched upon why we need LLM evaluation, challenges in LLM evaluation, and what are the approaches and metrics we can do. And we have seen a live demo of using LLM evaluation with using AWS Bedrock, and you use the FM eval library against it. Hope you liked the session, and feel free to share your feedback, and I'm looking forward to your feedback, as well as if you have any more doubts on this, and particularly if you want to interested into this orchestration of orchestration of evaluating the response using a multiple models that Bolt as a technique, let me know. I'm happy to share more information on it. Okay. Thanks. Pass on your feedback and connect with me on DataOps Labs, where it is a blogging website where I usually write a blog as well as write a monthly newsletter. And feel free to look at the DataOps Labs India YouTube channel, where I'm uploading content regularly. Okay. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.